Hello? It's been a while since we've last spoken, huh? Initially, I wanted this video to be a 2024 and how it went for me, but unfortunately, my mind kept clinging back to a certain something. And because of that, I generally could not make that sort of video. So instead of a look back at 2024 video, this video has now become a video where I want you to
Listen!
to me. Okay, that was just kind of a bad joke, but anyway. I want to make this video to get out the truth. The truth about the Digital Circus fandom. Because yes, unfortunately, the Digital Circus fandom is not what you think it is. So, you might be wondering, how is that so? Well, over my course of being in the Digital Circus fandom, I've been victim to several things. I've been a victim to several cases. And I'm gonna briefly mention them. And at the end, I'm more gonna be mentioning what my biggest problem is and also just why it hurts to see. The first thing I actually want to mention is something that I mentioned in my previous video. Being blackmailed with a document. For a little bit of better context, back in September, I think it was, if I can remember correctly, I was DM'd by a former friend, in quotations, and they blackmailed me this document with a threat attached to it, which, of course, generally scared me because I was like, what? What did I do? And then, to simply explain the content of the document, it was me about my behavior being outspoken and being blunt. That's really all what this document amounted to. I managed to resolve everything that was in the document in the following 9 days. However, I genuinely need to speak up more about this. Because, I'm just gonna be completely honest here, this document was unnecessary. A document made on a level like this is usually supposed to be there to be a very serious case, to catch people that have done criminal or illegal activities. In my case, I did nothing illegal or anything like that. I was just being myself. I was being open with the truth. And because of that, people decided, instead of going to me, to go to other people and essentially make this document happen. Which, wow. Yeah. But I'll get a little bit more into that specific part later because there's more to that story. The second thing that was very significant was actually being harassed off of Twitter. Yeah, I'm being dead ass. So, somewhere in October, when episode 3 released, I decided that it would be fun to release a thread regarding episode 3. You know, just as usual. It wasn't any sort of analysis thread or anything like that. It was just a thread about my personal opinion and thoughts on episode 3. But it seems that unfortunately, some of my wording wasn't the greatest. And people went after it. Hard. So hard, in fact, that I was essentially harassed off of the platform. People were way too overwhelming, and essentially that caused me and even forced me to take my leave from Twitter. Which, I'll admit in the long run has definitely been helping me, but even still, the fact that once again, a fandom harasses someone so hard because of a different opinion that they had. Which, I'm honestly still shocked that fandoms do this. But that isn't even the worst part, really. The worst part comes down to the people in the fandom themselves. Because this fandom, I'm going to be completely honest, does not care for you. You may notice that a lot of people out there welcome you with open arms and say that they care for you and that you're included. These are all lies. And I cannot emphasize that enough. And I have multiple examples of this. For example, remember earlier how I mentioned with the documents that most of this stuff could have just been addressed to me and it would have been a problem? Like, it just wouldn't have been a problem because we could have just talked it out. This kept happening during my time in the fandom. It kept happening more and more. Someone had a problem with me, it never got addressed directly to me, and because of that, it kept building on as a problem for months, until months later, it got mentioned to me. Meaning that people were essentially lying to me the entire time. And even that isn't all that bad as it sounds, because this fandom has been more than open to straight up outcasting you as well. And on top of that, treating you like nothing. And I'm being very blunt when I say that. No punches pulled. This fandom treats you like you're nothing. I've had several, again in quotations, friends in this fandom that seemed to genuinely care, be genuine friends, and be nice with me. I enjoyed their company, they seemed to enjoy mine, except they lied to me constantly. And eventually, when I started cracking because more and more was happening in the fandom, they showed their true colors. They eventually just decided to outcast me and to ditch me, to leave me behind in the dust and to suffer. They left me behind and treated me like I was nothing. Remember how in episode 3 of Digital Circus, where Kinger says, the worst thing you can do in this world is make someone feel like they're not wanted or loved? The fandom essentially broke that rule and did it to me. And my god, can you imagine how that makes me feel? And because of all of this, lying to you constantly, trying to be friends with you when in reality these friendships are only very surface level, and not giving any care in the world about your mental health, this fandom feels, for the lack of a better word, fake. This fandom feels like it's comprised of people who are just fake and don't really seem to care. And it hurts me that I have to say that. Digital Circus is one of my favorite pieces of media ever. I love this show. But its entire fandom has possibly been one of the worst fandoms I've ever been in. Being fake, casting you away, treating you like nothing, everything. It's genuinely really hurtful. And I hate the fact that I see it constantly now. You might say that it's nowhere near as bad as other fandoms that have things like doxing or documents against actual, bad criminally illegal people. But considering how quickly the downfall of this community has happened in the time of 7 months, I wouldn't be surprised if we reach that point eventually. Because ever since episode 2, this fandom has gotten progressively worse. And I'm not saying this as a way to hate on the fandom. No, I'm making this video because I want to get the truth out there, and I want this fandom to improve. I genuinely mean this. I want to see a beautiful fandom for a beautiful show. And the fact that the fandom has been anything but good since the release of episode 2 genuinely hurts me. And I hope that everyone in the fandom can take a look at themselves and self-reflect. This includes the bigger names in the fandom too. No one is safe of this. Even bigger names in the fandom have done damage to me in the way that I've mentioned. Being fake with me, tossing me aside like I'm nothing, and just that sort of... and all the painful stuff. No one in the fandom is immune to this. And I genuinely want people in the Digital Circus fandom to reflect on themselves and to genuinely improve. Because I want to see a beautiful fandom. I want to have fun being with you all. Not any of this. Because it hurts so much to see. And that's all I really have. I really hope that this fandom becomes better. Other than that, I'll be taking my leave now. I hope you were at least informed with this video. And I hope that you treat the Digital Circus fandom, until they improve on this, with caution. I'll see you all in the next video, if I ever do make one again. I'll see you around. Goodbye.